Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
I'm Naomi Ruckham with the new challenges veterans are facing this Memorial Day and the toll the pandemic is taking on them.
The first confirmed case of chronic wasting disease in Gallatin County. I'm Gabby Crevitt, and I'll have the details coming up.
Right about 6:30 on this Monday. Chet Lehman, Matt Elwell with you here. Caitlin Corbett is off today. Again, it is Memorial Day, a day that we dedicate just one day to say thank you for those who have paid the ultimate price for our freedoms.
And I said this earlier, it's one of my favorite holidays throughout the area. We have lots of people to thank. My dad was in the military.
As was mine, yes.
Yeah, so, and John Miller, our sports guy.
Correct. A Marine veteran, served time in Afghanistan and that. Coming up later on the show, we're going to talk about some of the Memorial Day ceremonies, a little different because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but looks like maybe the weather will be nice.
The weather is definitely cooperating. A little chilly in the morning, so you may need a light jacket, but by the afternoon, the sunscreen is going to come in more handy than anything. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon, not much moving in until you get into the evening, and even at that, the showers that we see developing tonight will be light. Daytime highs around the 70-degree mark. Lots of sunshine, though, especially for the first half of the day. We have record temperatures possible as we head toward the weekend. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit.
Wow, that sky over the mining city there looks like a painting.
Beautiful.
It doesn't even look real. That's beautiful. 6:31 now. This Memorial Day, we honor those who've served our country and paid the ultimate price. But the COVID-19 pandemic is posing new challenges to our nation's veterans, especially those battling mental health issues. Naomi Ruckham has more.
On a farm in rural Virginia, United States Navy veteran Danique Massengill and her team train service dogs for veterans.
We custom train the specific triggers for each veteran.
The program, Leashes of Valor, aims to help veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, something Danique struggles with as well.
For me, it took a long time to get all the pieces into place. It was rough. And there's still crappy days, honestly. But that never goes away. You just kind of learn how to ride the wave better.
But Leashes of Valor had to put their program on hold because of the coronavirus pandemic.
We've suspended mental health treatment in a way for people that don't know when this tool they're waiting for is going to be available to them.
A new Syracuse University Military Times poll of more than 4,000 veterans and active service members finds many are worried about the pandemic. They consider COVID-19 a severe threat to public health, the economy, their community, and family.
What those threats will be and how they'll play out over the next 3 months or even beyond.
Army veteran Nick Armstrong authored the report.
Things like a job loss of financial security, in being disconnected and socially isolated. These are all risk factors that only compound and accumulate, in terms of someone's mental health.
Danique is concerned about the potential setbacks for her fellow veterans.
People aren't looking for a handout. They're really just trying to be a part of something, and this currently is preventing them of being a part of something.
She's hoping to be able to do her part soon, getting more service dogs to veterans once restrictions are lifted. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Naomi tells us, by the way, Syracuse University plans to continue pulling veterans throughout the pandemic to try to ensure they get the resources they need. Very happy about that as well. Meantime, last week, officials with Montana Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Parks announced that Gallatin County had its first positive case of chronic wasting disease. TN's Gabby Crevitt reports on how FWP is asking for your help in managing the disease.
Chronic wasting disease is not new to the state of Montana. It's been around since 2017. But FWP reported late last week a white-tailed deer buck did test positive for the fatal disease, making it the first confirmed case of CWD in Gallatin County.
We knew chronic wasting disease was on the way to this part of the state. Really, we've seen it kind of move its way to the interior of the state.
Chronic wasting disease, or CWD, is a fatal neurological disease affecting deer, elk, and moose. It's something that FWP takes very seriously because it affects the health of the state's wildlife herds and has a widespread effect.
It has the potential to impact the wildlife here in Montana and the recreation opportunities that come with that and other factors.
The deer in Gallatin County was reported by residents near the Spring Hill area in Bozeman, showing common symptoms of the disease: limited mobility, wide posture, a droopy head and ears, and salivating.
We went out euthanized the animal, tested it for chronic wasting disease, and it came back positive.
The state is working to manage the disease and is asking for the public's help. If you see a deer, elk, or moose displaying the classic symptoms, call FWP to report the animal.
The way that Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks manages chronic wasting disease involves a lot of participation and input and cooperation from the public of Montana.
And the newly confirmed case may have an impact on hunters in the area as well.
CWD is a reality. People who hunt should be aware that there may be other restrictions in how they handle their carcass and process their game, how they transport it and how they dispose of it.
In Bozeman, Gabby Crevitt, MTN News.
Now, Gabby tells us FWP says one symptom they're not looking for is that if a deer appears skinny or frail. They say that's common for deer this time of year, does not need to be reported if you see an animal with that symptom. Well, here we go. No new cases of coronavirus being reported in the state of Montana in the last reporting period. Total confirmed cases are now 479. That's according to the State Health Department. 22 cases are currently active. 441 people have recovered, and 3 people are currently hospitalized. As you remember, 16 people have died in Montana from coronavirus. We'd also like to remind you about a new effort to help Montanans recover from the financial impacts of COVID-19. The Rebound Montana Relief Fund is a partnership between MTN, AMB West Philanthropies, and the Montana Community Foundation. Our Montana Wildfire Relief Fund raised more than $600,000 to help rural volunteer fire departments, all thanks to contributions from viewers like you. Now we've created a statewide fund to provide safety net funding for rural and tribal communities. If you can contribute, please go to KXLF or kbzk.com/relief. There you can access various funds that have been set up. MTN and AMB West Philanthropies will match the first $150,000 donated. Anything you can afford is a way we can help all of our fellow Montanans rebound. Shifting gears now, back to the weekend, Montana Highway Patrol, Gallatin County Sheriff's Office responded to a call yesterday morning of a hit-and-run crash at the Espresso to Go coffee stand in the parking lot of the Corner Club at Four Corners. Pickup truck that hit the coffee stand was hauling a horse trailer, which ended up striking the stand, causing a brief electrical fire near the entrance while there was actually a worker inside. Driver ended up leaving the scene, heading eastbound into Bozeman on Huffine Lane. Montana Highway Patrol eventually found the pickup and is performing crash and DUI investigation. According to MHP, the property owner reporting significant damages to that HUD. 6:37 now. The pandemic has made it so we can't hang out with friends or go out to eat as easily as before. But scientists say this whole thing is affecting some people in the opposite way too. Chris Conte shows us the other side of being cooped up and ideas to help manage the pressure no matter your situation.
I'm extending my garden this year.
A once-in-a-lifetime pandemic has suddenly planted us into a dramatic shift of routines.
I've been going for a lot more walks.
Working in her garden, Mary Rose Steele reflects on the past few months of isolation. Some days with her 3 kids and husband prove more difficult than others.
I'd say the absolute hardest part is that we can't go and see our parents, so the kids can't see their grandparents, and they're really upset about that, and they really miss them.
We built like 3 rockets. Families across the country are having to take creativity to new heights to maintain sanity. Mary Rose has taken quarantine in stride. But like many moms, sometimes she just needs a minute.
This morning I took a break. I just walked out of the kitchen and didn't say anything to anybody and just went and took a shower.
We're spending a lot more time together than we used to.
That is Craig Smith. He's a psychology professor at Vanderbilt University. Even introverts, he says, are struggling with social isolation.
Yeah, what do you want?
My son is sort of introverted, and he tells me that his biggest problem with what's changed is we never go away.
For families or couples quarantining together nearly 24/7, Craig has this piece of advice for the tougher moments.
Reach out and talk to people. And when you talk to people about your struggles, one of the things you will often learn is that other people are having the same struggles.
Staying at home means something entirely different for Andrew Connor. He lives by himself in Seattle. His kitchen is his office, is also his gym. For this 32-year-old who was always on the go, this has been a tough transition.
This is usually my dinner table and coffee table all at once.
To keep himself focused, Andrew has created lists on his bathroom mirror, reminders of things to be grateful for. It's helped him stay grounded.
It's more of like the ultimate mental test. You're forced to slow down. You're forced to think about things.
I think trying to monitor your feelings as best you can is a good thing. And if you feel that you're feeling some sense of loneliness or a sense of loss because you're not talking with someone, reach out.
I'm getting to enjoy my kids. I do love them. There are hard days, but I love spending time with them.
Managing the pressure of this pandemic often means taking each day as it comes.
Ready, set, go.
I'm Chris Conti reporting.
The challenges are real. Do reach out. There are people to talk to out there. Call a friend. Just pick up the phone. Have a chat. 6:40 now. We're going to take a quick break. When Montana This Morning returns, you want to go out but are afraid of your risks? We'll take a look at what health experts say are the risk levels for several activities. But right now, we're going to check in with the folks at CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, crowds come out for Memorial Day weekend. We're at the beach on both coasts as some states struggle with social distancing. Also, we look at the unexpected medical costs with treating coronavirus in our Bill of the Month series. Why one man says he was charged thousands for a trip to the ER, even though he wasn't allowed to get a test. And we'll talk with the International Space Station commander, who's set to welcome the first astronauts to launch from U.S. soil in nearly a decade. All coming up when we see you at 7.